Afternoon, y'all. Bravo Zulu Bushcraft coming to you with a short gear review of a knife I found just before coming out on a camp out this weekend. It is the Camillus or Camillus, depending upon how you pronounce it. 440 stainless steel, so average steel, titanium coated straight edge blade. It interested me because I found it at Wally World for less than $10, so it is going to go into the budget bushcraft category of my channel. But it really stuck out to me in the shelf, in the stands at Wally World, because for bushcrafting I prefer a straight edge blade. It is much easier to maintain in the field. It seemed relatively straight. It had some decent jimping on the blade up towards the front here. And it also said it was a full tang blade, and with this rubber molded handle it is a little difficult to tell on that, but it does appear to be some metal through the lanyard hole down here, so I believe it truly is a full tang blade. And additionally, this very robust handle here, this very robust molded rubber handle here makes for a very good grip. I like that it doesn't have a lot of finger contours on the handle, just a nice little bulge there and a little bit of a protective head here at the head of the grip to prevent you from, slicing open your fingers if the blade slips. So pretty decent blade straight off the rack. Decent thickness. I will show the thickness when compared to a Mora, which is a kind of a more standard bushcraft blade. But overall, looks really impressed me, and the cheapness for budget bushcrafting stood out, so I decided to take it out and put it through the paces. I did use it a little over the weekend, not as much as I anticipated, but I used it to strike a ferro rod. It did that quite well, especially on the jimping edge here, which does have some 90-degree angles to it. And I used it to split some stuff and shave some stuff. So for demonstration purposes, I have acquired some wood from the wood pile here. This is just a chunk of pine, I believe, and as you can see, it cuts into that, it bites into that pretty well at an angle, and if I do a more shallow shaving angle, it shaves pretty easily here. It also has a good penetration factor to it. Stands up on end pretty well. Don't want to abuse the point of that blade too much. It is fairly narrow, so don't want to blend that too much. But you can see from this that shaving for the purpose of feathering wouldn't be too difficult with this blade, especially if you had a battened piece of wood, which we're going to try here next. But I was pretty impressed. That is with the edge of the blade right out of the box. No sharpening on my part. So next we're going to try the battening test. For that, I've got just a standard piece of wood off the wood pile here, and it's been a little wet. The bark's starting to peel off. You can use the blade to get the bark off a bit. It does have a sharper top edge up to the front here, not as sharp as a blade, but not a 90-degree grind to any extent. So we've got a little bit of a split going in this already. So let's go ahead and see if we can batten this piece of wood here. we go, folks. Batting through a piece of wood that's probably about 2 inches in diameter here, and did that fairly well. Let's go ahead and split one of those halves again. Alright, so should this have been a survival situation, I could have taken a branch that was 2 inches in diameter and processed that down using the battening technique. For those of you that are new to bushcraft, that's what I just demonstrated. It's where you take a heavy piece of wood, one that won't break when you hit it, use that to hammer at the knife and split another piece of wood. A lot of knife gurus really don't appreciate the abuse that puts on a knife. Bushcraft knives tend to be a little bit more robust in order to handle the stresses that puts on the knife. But for a $10 knife, that actually held up pretty well. I just see a couple of impressions on the rubber mold here where I was hitting it with the branch, but doesn't seem to have damaged the handle in the least. Blade is stable, didn't bend at all, and as you can see, can still shave. This is hardwood, mind you. Still get some fine shavings off of that with that blade. Work on getting a feather stick if you needed to for the purposes of starting a fire. So all told, I'm pretty impressed with this little knife for 10 bucks at Wally World. Don't have to wait for something to order offline and come in the mail like a Mora typically does. This is something you can go out and get at Wally World and start into the world of bushcraft until you can upgrade to a better blade. So all in all, I am impressed, and it is a useful blade. It will probably go in one of my kits as a spare or a loaner. Just a point of note, it does come with a ballistic nylon sheath. Not the greatest of sheaths. Fairly flimsy overall, but it does have some reinforcement down here where the blade goes, and I didn't have much of a problem drawing it from the sheath when it was mounted on my belt, especially if you draw straight out. But if you were going to use this any length of time, you may want to upgrade the sheath. Additionally, the snap, unless you seat the blade fully into the sheath, the snap is very tight and difficult to get snapped around there if it's any further up on the blade or further down here where it expands. So somewhat of a cheap sheath here, but it's functional. It's got a belt loop, it's got a little bit of reinforcement on the inside to keep that from tearing, and worked just fine over the weekend. So overall, highly recommend this as a budget option for a bushcraft knife. It'll take a beating, it'll do some of the tasks that you need it to do, and some of those other techniques I mentioned, like feathering and starting splitting wood to start fires, shaving and whatnot, I'll get into that as my channel develops. But I hope you enjoyed this product review. If there's anything that you would have liked to have seen in it that I didn't cover, please let me know, and I can answer those questions down in the comments field. If you have any other suggestions of knives and things you'd like me to take a look at, I'd be happy to do so. Other than that, this wraps up this video. Thanks for joining me. Bravo Zulu out.